Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Becoming the 1% podcast. My guest today is Adriell Mayes, a very, very unique individual doing a very cool combination of kettlebell movements, specific sport training for longevity, and a whole list of other things that we get into. You guys are really going to like this episode. Enjoy.
And for me, mostly, I've never really liked the idea of like talking.
Really? Okay.
No, it's just it was, I don't know, I'm like very introverted. I'm shy. I didn't really care to like hear myself talk a lot.
I feel that on a spiritual level.
It's deep. It's deep within your soul.
Yeah, I just didn't care to. And there's a lot of talking on like social media. I want it to be less about the talk, more about like the work. So
Yeah. Well, you definitely bring that in spades. Obviously, you may not, gravitate toward the talking side, but the camera side, your content, how long have you done it for, like, at that level?
It's been like what year are we now? Like
23.
It's like 4 years now. It's been like 4 years now.
Really good. Wow. To get to, and was this page only 4 years old?
No. So I had my page for a while. I just didn't post.
You just didn't do anything with it?
No, like no kidding. Like it was just like pictures of like my dogs.
Yeah.
It was like a birthday event. Like it wasn't any fitness stuff at all. I really wasn't really posting at all.
Part of me sometimes misses those days where your social media was just a thing. It was like something that didn't really mean anything. It was kind of like, yeah, I have one, but I don't really need it. Yeah. Now, because I assume with what you've done, you're making a good living off of just your monetization. Your content serves your company in a very real way.
Oh, definitely. And it's so weird because for a while I never wanted to do it just because I think I was just scared of like the feedback I would get. Like I was just like, I don't want people to like judge me.
Yeah.
Because you see some accounts sometimes and you be like, I wonder what their life is really like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to have to create a persona of like somebody that I wasn't.
I love that.
So when I got into it and I was just being myself and it got like reaction, I was like, oh, I could do this and I don't have to like alter who I am.
I'm so happy already with the decision to go forward with this episode and everything, man. You're saying some of the stuff that we talk about oftentimes behind closed doors. And usually this conversation comes off when we have a guest on that isn't in that same resonance with you. Somebody who, oh my gosh, we'll have a guest on, and look, I think we've been in this business long enough, both of us, to where we've met people who are like this, where maybe they're even sort of a dope person when you get them like off camera, when you're talking to them, they're like this. It's like a normal conversation. Then they'll be like, hey, you mind if I do a post? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Cool. What is that? And then they turn it on, and you're like, oh, so you're like, this is a caricature you've made. This is a weird, not real thing you're doing. Like, I couldn't stand the idea of that. I didn't like influencers, didn't like influencer coaches, didn't like it seemed to me, and I think more so, I think now there's more real coaches and more real athletes and just more real people that are using social media than there was back, like kind of in its earlier days. It seemed like when, especially like Instagram, when it really took off, you just had the crazy people that just magnified. The crazier you were, the more and once people figured that out, it got worse. It got worse before it got better. People kind of just like, I'm just going to do this crazy Jake Paul lifestyle. I'm not going to bring anything of real value. I'm just going to make sure everybody knows I got money and I got all these cars and I'm doing all this stuff. And that just seemed to be what an influencer was.
Yeah.
And then for fitness, it seemed like that, along with shaking your ass. That's what a fitness influencer seemed to be.
Yeah, it's more so like it's like what can get people to react and engage, and you got to kind of like get through the fluff of it, I guess. And like real coaches, like for a while they just struggled online because they were getting overlooked by everything else that was in front of them, and they demonized like Instagram because of it. They like hated it. It's like, oh, there's no place for real coaches because nobody really wants to be coached. They just like to look at this or that. But there's people out there that want more knowledge. You just gotta kind of find your way to get out there.
Yeah. And when we have coaches in here who ask us about social media or starting their own platforms, I always encourage them, and Eli does too, look, be genuine and be real. And you know, find ways. This is sort of a little, I think it's a little hack. Find ways to, like you said, drive the engagement, get the comments, get the attention from the audience, but don't do it in a way that compromises who you are as a coach. And we see that too sometimes. Even from coaches that are, shall we say, semi-serious coaches, will sometimes, it seems like they will implement movements or protocols that are more so there to grab the eyes of the audience than to benefit the individual doing the movement.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of that too?
For sure. I mean, and this, I guess some of it is just like you got to play the game without actually being in the game. So like, yeah, I mean, know what's what, but still preach the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can do like attention grab stuff, but as long as you're telling the real truth in your captions, and people can see, like, all right, I understand why this was posted. Not more so like you're just trying to get attention.
But so what is it then? I mean, how long did you get into coach? I mean, tell me about what you've been doing. I mean, how did it start?
So I was personal training for a while. Like I was personal training in like more north of like Boston. I was just like doing one-on-one training at like a small gym after I graduated from college. And I was just there like soaking up, training with people, trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I knew I like fitness. I knew I enjoy like building myself up through fitness. And after a while, I realized I could do it for other people.
Yeah.
So I started working with people, all different walks of life. And I realized I was pretty good at it. Like I was pretty good at getting people to bring the best out of themselves. So I was like, I like this. And I like the feeling of them changing something and thanking me for it. So it's like,
it's a good feeling.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
And back then, like I was doing it at such a small like rate. Like if the money wasn't even, like I wasn't being compensated for what I was doing. I was just doing it because I was enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got along, I started to learn more and pick up more tricks and trades along the way.
Sure.
And I just became more obsessed with it. And along that, I was just building myself out. The more I learned to build myself, the more I was able to give people.
Mm-hmm.
So
build yourself in continued education, build yourself in like what's an example of something?
So continued education, more pursuing, working for a better company than I was working for, just trying to learn more about different styles of training. Because I come from like, I play football, so I had like a football mentality. We did like power cleans and we did snatches and stuff, but it was always, I always wanted more. Like I always seeked out different movements and seeked out different ways of training because I'm competitive. So I have friends that play different sports. So I wanted to be just as good at their sport as I was mine.
Yeah.
Which require you having more ability than you have for your own sport. So I wanted to run. I wanted to do all these type of stuff. And I was like, all right, I want to be able to implement this in my training.
Yeah.
So I started to like explore the movement in that way.
Yeah. I love it. It's like I'm having a conversation with myself. That's so great, man. It's because it's the same thing. It's the same thing for me. I didn't play in the NFL or have a football career, but I did have the training that we talked about before we went live. I had my earliest days were always centered around strength training for coaching for football. But even then, I think the way I was taught, yes, we had the power lifts. Yes, we had the snatches, all that kind of good stuff, which at that sport, I get why it's still a cornerstone of it. I mean, you have to do powerlifting. You're a power athlete. I mean, you are as a football player. But a lot of the stuff we did was ahead of its time. And I really do credit, Ian and all the guys over at PEP. I mean, for what they were doing and what they were back then. I mean, this is at least 9 years ago when they were doing this type of stuff. That was the first place I ever saw like a BOSU ball or something like with balance training or isometrics with balance training, like all kinds of stuff they were doing that I'd never seen before. And that was, I think, the earliest sort of light bulb to go off in my head. Whereas most people working with power athletes will only implement one or two dogmatic styles of training, and then maybe they'll do a few other things to help with injury prevention or, stabilization training. Having a whole program designed for longevity, like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Like this type of stuff. I did notice, and I wanted to make sure I asked this. your kettlebell work seems to be a big part of your content. Is that a big part of your training? Kettlebells?
That's like probably like 99% of my training.
Okay, why? Why kettlebells?
Because it allows me to focus more on the movement of my body and less of the instrument that I'm holding.
Okay.
So like a lot of times with barbell, you're restricted. Like you only can do so much.
Mm-hmm.
You only can move your hips in a certain way. Most of the time you're doing like a bilateral movement, so you're normally stuck in one position.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no room for movement.
Sure.
Kettlebells, you get to kind of move your body around the bell.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, like the joy of being able to just move freely.
It also, I mean, a lot of the stuff yes, like that. That's a perfect example. A hip a single leg stance, military press with a kettlebell. I remember that movement. I remember I saw, it wasn't with a kettlebell. It was actually with you familiar with James Harrison? Remember that guy?
Yeah, I see.
So James Harrison, I'll never forget this as long as I live. He used to do this. We would set him up like that, but we would do it with a barbell instead of a kettlebell.
Oh, I think I might have seen those.
You ever seen him do this?
Yeah, I think
he
I
would do a single leg standing, and typically somebody would do this like you and I could do a standing single leg barbell press with, maybe 10 to 20 pounds on each side. That dude would put a plate and a 25 on that barbell, stand on one leg, and press.
Yeah, so that's
Sickest human being I've ever seen in the gym. I've never seen somebody stronger.
It's impressive, man. It's crazy.
That type of stuff has such impact for longevity. Talk about that. What is that?
And that's more so about like how I want to train. So like I'm fairly strong. Like I feel like I'm never gonna lose like a certain amount of strength. But it's like, how do I stay this way forever and not be in pain?
50s, 60s, yeah.
So and that's what I got into, like the sports stuff, like you said. A lot of that stuff is geared towards for them being able to perform.
Mm-hmm.
But people that don't play sports, they play the game of life. They play the sport of life. They need to be able to do all this stuff as well. Yeah. So the functional movement stuff, being strong in multiple directions, all that stuff is just as important. And that's how I was able to transfer the stuff I was doing with myself and like athletes to like the everyday individual, because it's more of them than it is of us.
Yeah.
And they're the more likely the ones that are getting hurt or in pain and all this stuff. So I'm like, how do I get this stuff to be able to get these people to be able to be fit and ready for life?
Mm-hmm. Did you have a time training professional athletes prior to training Gym Pop?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay.
It was just more so myself.
Well, you had trained as a
yes.
You had you said you had a tryout with the Vikings. Is that right?
I did like the mini camp thing that they do. Yeah.
But even to get, for people who don't know, even to get to the mini camp, you had to have, you played obviously through high school, you played football, mm-hmm. You had years of football training, mm-hmm. years of experience in the weight training community geared toward football. Mm-hmm. And you said something that I really wanted to highlight, which is something that I found to be sort of dispelled at PEP, but most of the time applied to serious athletes, and that is they are training for a very small window. A football season is not that big of a window of performance. Most of the time, the training protocols that the pros implement for those guys, it's like, okay, it's the off season, you're hurt, almost guaranteed. We need to get you healthy, and we need to get you optimal, and we need to do whatever we can through whatever means we have to get you ready to perform for that season. Then when the season's done, we'll repeat the cycle again. Mm-hmm. But that is not the same type of training protocol for someone who, as you put it, is training for life.
Yeah.
And those athletes oftentimes hit other barriers that a lot of people don't know about when their football career comes to an end.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we talked about this with a guest we had on, Todd Anderson. He played, and he has this incredible company. He talks about sleep and recovery and all this type of stuff. And he was saying, just like I've experienced, that a lot of athletes, while in their career, had their nutrition, their strength, their programming sort of spoon-fed to them. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, just do this. They never had to really understand. Yeah, they never had to learn because it was just given to them. Then when that bell finally rang and their career was over, and now no one picks them up, you're on your own, well, what do? Well, I don't really know I know what to do, but I don't really know what to do.
Exactly.
So that's a problem. And oftentimes, and again, I say that Ian and his team really did a good job dispelling this, the way they train, because as I said, they trained the way you train. It was very functional. It was very longevity based rather than just hitting that performance window. That he always, and he made a point of always telling me this too, like, look, the way we train athletes here is not just for the upcoming season. I want to try to keep them healthy through that season, so I don't have to do this type of thing as aggressively every single time they come in. I want them mobile and healthy rather than just big and strong.
Exactly.
Most of those guys are big and strong enough. Like, most of those guys are. They don't necessarily need to be improved that 2 to 4% of a fraction to get stronger. Usually, they got to get more mobile. They got to get more flexible.
Exactly.
That's, yeah.
And one of my sayings, I say it a lot, is like, you can, and people like pursue that route of just training to build muscle and build strength. So you can be strong, but it won't be for long.
Okay.
Some point training that way, you're going to get to a point where you won't be able to train that way. And it's bring you more pain than it will satisfaction.
Yeah.
And when you get to a point where you've done that, think about all like the great bodybuilders we love, all the big power guys that never like switched over their style of training. Most of them are like barely walking now, in excruciating pain.
Ronnie
it's
Coleman.
like, yeah, it's like that. The way he trained for and the way he did it for so long, like how much, like the biggest thing with building muscles is time on attention. How much time on attention can you have and not expect your body to be in tension forever?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's a good way of putting
at
it.
some point, like that's you can just be full of tension. Like your body's gonna be that way.
Yeah.
And if you don't maneuver soon enough, it'll be hard for you to be mobile and stable later in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that topic, out of curiosity, what kind of regimen do you follow when it comes to recovery? Because I see a lot of you like in the gym, but I'm curious if like you have a regimen for that.
I do like I do cold plunge, I do sauna. I do a lot of times I do active recovery. So like when I pretty much train every day, but all my sessions aren't geared towards making me stronger. Like some of them are more towards making me more stable, more flexible, more cardiovascular. Like I'm always trying to build towards something, and I recover in that piece of it. Like my biggest thing I tell people, I train legs every day, but in the sense of I'm not always trying to build my legs. Sometimes I just need blood flow. Sometimes I just need some stretching. Sometimes I need some running. Like I need the impact.
You ever try yoga?
Yeah, I do. I do a little bit. Can't do it for too long. I get a little bored, but I do love the range of motion piece of it, like holding different things and doing all that. But I like to kind of like do it with the kettlebells, I guess. And that's how my training kind of flows.
You should try if you can find one. Now, I mean, with yoga for me, because I'm like, I mean, to sit alone in a room and do yoga seems pretty boring to me. But if you can get yourself into a good class, something either Bikram or something with aerial, like, bro, aerial yoga is insane. The amount of core strength and stuff that it takes, the core strength and flexibility is really the two, I think, cornerstones of a good yoga, a good yogi, somebody who's good at that. And this type of thing could run into a whole list of problems as well for people who only dogmatically do yoga. They don't necessarily have the strength component. But for guys like us and others that are in our similar field, I think usually that's sort of the two missing components oftentimes. You know, somebody who has really good range of motion, mobility, and core strength, usually not somebody who's a power lifter or somebody strong in the gym. They're missing one or two parts of that equation. So yeah, and that's why I'm also seeing a lot of professional athletes are taking that on as well. I mean, yoga.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, because it's always majority. Think about it, for all the guys that want to be like big and strong. That's always the missing piece, and I think that's why my content really clicks for people, because in somewhat aspect, I kind of have a little bit of everything. Like I have the conditioning, I'm very flexible, I'm very mobile, but I'm also really strong at levels that people may never reach as far as like strength wise, but there are some people at that level but don't have the mobility piece of it, so they may be at that level now, but they won't be able to keep that level without sacrificing like the not having the mobility piece of it. So I kind of represent industry of people that want to be strong, want to be mobile, and want to be this way when I'm 40 and 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do I do this? And it takes work. Like, it really takes work to be able to be mobile and be strong, continue to build strength. But it's the long game. It's like, if I'm trying to build strength and keep strength, what does it matter how long it take me to build this type of strength? But when you want to build muscle right away, you want to look good for summer,
Yeah.
it changes the way you go about it, because you put a timetable on it. But if I'm doing it for life, it doesn't matter when I get there. I'm gonna get there.
It also doesn't matter. This is the other sort of, and this is all in the mind. It also doesn't matter oftentimes if you gain any more than you already have. That is the other thing.
Exactly.
If you get to a certain point when people ask me like, "Hey, what are you training for?" I'm like, I don't really have a specific like. I'm good. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm happy with where I'm at. I can run camelback in under 25 minutes. I work out 7 days a week. I don't have any lingering injuries. I don't have any problems. Knock on wood. But at the same time, it seems like the world of fitness is monopolized by people who only talk about, are you living 100% maxed out energy? What are you doing to better yourself today? And I get it. That type of content, that conversation definitely has a place for some people who, I think we both agree that the majority of people are not at a point in their life where they should just maintain. Most of them are out of shape or need help most of them do. But speaking in terms of the people who have made long strides to continuously better themselves in fitness and have gotten to that point, get your mind to the point as well where you can say like, you know what, if I stay here forever where I'm at, I'm good. I don't need to do, because typically the only way for guys like us to push another even 1%, because you and I aren't professional athletes, but we're training like we're professional athletes. So in order, and this is the same conversation for them, in order to get a professional athlete 1% better or 1% faster, usually the answer involves steroids in some way. If you're a high performance person already at a high frequency of energy and you're already that, in order to get even higher, there's only a couple ways to go about doing that. And so that opens up a whole nother problem. I mean, have you, I assume with your type of content, you get hit up, people ask if you're on it. And
it's like endless. And some people...
It is endless, isn't it?
It cracks me up because I'm not like, I've never even thought twice about it, just because I'm more curious about how can I be able to operate as if I am without doing it. Like, I want to be able to, like, there's guys I know personally that on it hard, and
Sure,
they stand next to me, you would say how, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that way it's like, that's why I don't think it's about that in general. It's like, do you know what you're doing, and how much are you doing it, and how good at you doing it at? So like, I got my like testosterone tested, and it's like 940.
That's impressive right now.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
So,
and no, you when you say I'm never on it, no TRT, nothing like that.
I don't even like taking protein powder.
Got it. Wow, so that's like the true definition of natty.
Like, I don't even like taking protein powder. Like,
yeah,
creatine, rarely ever.
Yeah,
like, I eat real food, and I don't drink. I go
smoke,
to bed.
None of that stuff.
Never.
Sleep well. Yeah.
Never. But I sleep decently. I have a deviated septum, and I'm trying to get the surgery for it. So I'm more curious, after that's done, how will it elevate like my fitness level? I'm gauging, like, I'm gonna run like 100-mile race or something, because I really have a hard time breathing through my nose.
Through your nose, yeah.
But I'm able to still like push through.
Have you tried like hostage tape and stuff?
It doesn't work. I got serious blockage.
Got it.
Like serious blockage. I'm gonna have to get
the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing they ever say because we had him on here too. And that's the only thing they say with the hostage tape. It's like, look, unless you have a deviated septum, this will work for you.
Yeah.
If you have bad allergies, it's still gonna work. But in your particular case, yeah,
I got to get the surgery, which I'm like hype because I want to know, like, what am I physically capable of? And that's why I never really got into the steroid thing, because I'm like, this has to be possible, natural. Because all steroids really allow people to do is to be less disciplined. Like, you train hard, you do all this, but it doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't. What you sleep matters sometimes, but you get away with stuff that you couldn't get away with if you weren't on steroids. So
yes, I mean, there's no denying that steroids are an aid. and can be a shortcut. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
There are though. I mean, you look at somebody like this is bad because they definitely come with consequence. We'll just say that
sure.
steroids come with consequence. Period. At the end, I'm using it in my head more so the analogy. I mean, Ronnie Coleman is. I mean, no one would deny either that he was on steroids or that he took shortcuts. I mean, Ronnie Coleman infamously trained harder and longer and for more consistent than anybody else in bodybuilding at the time. He was notorious for the amount of stuff he would lift. So I don't think anybody would look at him and say, well, steroids allowed him to take a shortcut.
No, not in that way.
But at the same time, the consequence. I mean, look at what happened to what is it? I mean, for the time and place that he was the king, I've never seen anybody, not Arnold, not nobody, look like him. I think he's the most impressive bodybuilder that's ever lived.
My question to him would be, would he trade it to be able to be a more functioning human at this age?
That's a good question.
Because you got the fame, you got the name, and it lasts you for however long it lasts you. But
not
now,
even 10 years. I mean, not even. He was, well, okay, can you look up how many times he was Mr. Olympia? My gut is telling me it was
8. I think it was 8.
Yeah.
But I'm saying even past that, like we're talking about him, you know what I mean? He has the fame. But my question would be like, would you trade that to be able to
run around with your
operate life?
grandkids?
Yeah, operate life as a normal human right now without being restricted.
I wonder what he would say. I bet someone's asked him. Well, we're gonna work in getting him in here, and when we do, I'll ask him.
Yeah,
but
I'll be curious.
I'd be curious because some of those guys, I mean, they're crazy enough to say no. Be like, no, I wouldn't trade it. Yeah. I wanted to be what I was, and I am paying the price for it. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah.
Some of them would say that, in all honesty.
Because if it's what you love, I get it. But I feel like it's so short term in the sense of what you love is not like what I love now until like to the point where I get kids. It's not gonna be the same. Like my kids are gonna be everything. So every moment with them, every event, I want to be able to have that, and not having that will probably hurt me more.
So he was a competitor from 98 to 2005. Is that right? Am I reading that right? Titles 8. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, but he was competing before that. He was just getting like 4th
26
place.
IFBB. Wow. Okay, so 26 years at least, minimum 26 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ronnie is Ronnie in his 50s probably?
Probably.
So let's be optimistic and say he's got 50 more years of life.
Okay.
That's optimistic. I mean, very optimistic, I understand. But at the same time, he would say yes today, but he's still a young man. I mean, a man in his 50s is not an old man, not by any stretch, but this particular man will age much faster because of what he did to himself.
Yeah. So I think I would hope he would say yes, in the sense of
that he would trade it.
If he has something now that he wants to live for, in the sense of that he needs to be there physically and be able to be mobile and all this stuff. But I would understand if he didn't, because I mean, you get the high of being who he is. Like, he's a legend. Like, they're gonna talk about him forever. And some people thrive off that. Like, that means a lot to them. For me, not so much. Like,
no, me neither.
I want to be there for the people that were there for me long in life and later after that.
And I mean, to me, it's a goal of mine. Like, I want to be a ready man. I want to be a ready old man. I want to know if something really goes down that I'm a ready man. I mean, if he can barely stand, someone like that, a circumstance like that where you are by all accounts crippled because of what you did to yourself, you can't defend anybody. You can't do anything. And that, to me, it's like you said, we're all playing the game of life. And I think a big part as men, the reason for training, at least in my mind, is I want to stay. I love the guy, to quote the Goggins, I want to stay hard. I want to be ready if something happens to where I know, like, I can break into a sprint. I'm 32. I want to be able to do that when I'm 42, 52.
Seriously.
Like, and that's important to me. In order to do that, takes a very specific equation inside of the gym and a very specific protocol. And I mean, I don't know that everybody really follows stuff like that.
They don't. I mean, but you think about it from a more like grand scheme of things. It's like it's more so about like trade offs because while I'm not that way in the gym, like I have the longevity approach outside of the gym when it comes to like success and career, I like my foot is on the gas. Like there's no break. There's no like I'm not. I'm thinking long term, but how I can make it be longer in that sense. Like how can I be more successful? How can I be more wealthy or whatever it is? And I'm not thinking about what I'm missing out on now or what am I like just burning through. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
like it's about trade offs and how I'm not that way in the gym, so it's not gonna pain me in a like a physical way, but mentally I could be struggling because I'm just chasing. I'm chasing whatever it is I'm chasing and there's no breaks. There's
Yeah.
there's no recovery. I'm not mobile with it. Like there's no stability with it. I'm just chasing.
Have you ever looked into any of the, speaking specifically of mental recovery? We're not talking like ice bath, right? I mean, which has a mental recovery side to it. But have you ever looked into any of the, because there's technology, I mean, that's specific for like mental acuity and recovery. There's this thing called the Vilite. You ever seen that?
No, I've never seen it.
It's amazing. Eli, can you pull their Instagram up? I think it's VEI Light. They just sent us their unit, and essentially what this does is VEI. Oh, there it is. See the thing with the thing on his head? Oh wait, no, go back. 3 down. Vilite Inc. So this is a device that does photobiomodulation. Basically, it emits a near infrared frequency. It goes in through your skull, like where you're wearing it by your ears, and they also wear it in their nose. It goes up through your cranium straight into your brain. It basically rebuilds the mitochondria in your brain and causes you creative recovery. Basically, your mind recovers from this. They have studies backing up that it will help Alzheimer's, dementia, that sort of disease and disability that people get, especially later in life. But something like this, I mean, there are pieces of equipment out there now for that. And for me, I have found that taking time in a day, because I mean, we're probably operating around the same type of thing. We're working 18, 19, 20 hours a day, never stopping. We wake up and go to sleep. And in between that, I'm working. I'm doing something. That's what I do. I'm a man. I work. But in there, I try to find time where I'll go, for me, I turn on the red light, I go in the hammock, I read scripture, and now I think I'm going to implement this as well. Do you do anything like that?
I read my Bible a lot. I read books, but it's just like in that moment I'm able to connect. But the moment I put it down, it's like
It goes back on again.
It goes back on. I haven't really found anything that allows me to really disconnect. I've done like the float therapy. It works.
Yeah, the deprivation chambers.
Yeah,
that thing.
It works. It works for in the moment. I fight it for a while, so I try to think about all the stuff I'm dealing with work, the stress of what I'm trying to do next.
Of course.
And at some point, I just get lost in it, and I'm able to like free myself of those thoughts. But again, the moment I'm out, it's back on. And I don't know. I haven't really found ways in a way that I really can break away, because as much as I don't like it, it's a part of me. And it's probably more so one of the reasons that I am successful at what I do, because I pay attention to the details, because I'm always on.
Yeah.
But you need a break from it. Like, as much as I may not be doing something as physical, like burnout wise, being mentally like fatigued is worse than being physically fatigued.
Big time.
Way worse.
Because I think one precedes the other.
Oh,
I mean, if you're mentally fatigued, you're not going to go into the gym and have a good workout if you go in at all.
Exactly. And I have a lot of mental like burnout.
Yeah.
Like complete burnout.
Yeah, that's something I try to address a lot with clients too. I mean, with the way that we coach, if you're doing one-on-ones, it means you're doing it at a premium. And if you're doing it at a premium, it means you're getting clients that are doing stuff like they're high frequency people. They're working, they're involved. Usually they're like in control of their world in some way. So you get the CEOs, you get the minds that don't shut off. That's who you work with. And so I think it's very, very, especially in the beginning. I mean, sometimes I'll have a client who comes in here, and I can feel it immediately when they walk in the room. They're wired, they're pissed, and I just, hey, what's going on? Like, obviously something's up. Tell me, what is it? And sometimes they just need to go into the sports therapy area and just lay down. I'm just like, you know what? Hey, instead of today's, warm up, let's cut that. Let's go a little bit longer today. Go lay down in that bed, calm down, breathe, do some breathing techniques. I'm gonna show you some stuff, and then we're gonna get started.
Yeah.
Because if you're not mentally there, and yes, it does help to get the, overwhelming burn of a good workout to help calm that down. But I think it's good, and it's a good thing for people to know how to do a way to calm yourself down outside of the gym, because the gym isn't always there. Have you done anything with like breath work, any sort of research into that stuff?
With my own breathing, yeah, like more so, but more just to talk about what you say with the clients. I've used to do that a lot with people. Is they come in like really worked up, so you got to bring them back down before you bring them back up.
Bring them back up.
So you bring them back down, like allow them to like reset and like get ready for the workout, which is huge for people. And like you said, we work with a lot of my client CEOs. A lot of them like own their own companies, so they're important people. So their phone is going off, like they constantly get emails. So they live a similar life,
Right.
But for that moment when they're with you and they do it because they want to be able to disconnect from that.
Yeah.
So I try to keep that in mind when I'm working with them. Like this is their break from like their reality of how busy they are and how stressed they could be about doing something.
Yeah, you may be the only person that they see in their entire day that doesn't bring them stress.
Exactly.
And that can include their wife, their kids, especially their wife and their kids. Oh my gosh, nothing brings you more stress than your wife and your kids. But, your trainer, your coach, your gym time, I mean, that's like a lot of people, that's the only escape they have.
Yep.
It's important to remember that. Yeah, sports psychology has a lot more practical application than I thought it would be when I first got going into this. I'm like, hey man, I'm not a therapist. What are we doing here? Like, why are you telling me about your kids?
But you are.
You are.
You really are. You are. And it's more so, it's really paying attention to the personal side of it. It's like you forget, at some point in time when you're working with people, you have to forget everything you know about like actual training and like be a human and help this person get through this.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes especially when you do the private or the semi-private where there's only two people, or even worse, only one person there. You do really realize that, hey, maybe this is more than just me being just a backboard. I mean, maybe this person actually really does need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of times, too, I mean, especially I think with the guys, they don't do therapy. They don't believe in therapy. Like, I'm not going to go to therapy. That's what I'm like, well, I mean, you're kind of doing that right now. You just don't really know it.
Yeah. So I have this client. It was a client of mine before. He's a CIO of a big bank. And because of his job and who he was, he can't really make friends. His thing was like, I can't be buddy with employees because the day may come, I may have to let this person go. I don't want to think about their family and like all this stuff, and I may not be able to make that decision. So at work he's very like mellow. He don't talk, don't do parties or nothing. So when we train, me knowing that's how he is, like those hours, we worked with each other 4 times a week, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Those hours, he was a different person than he was outside of the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Like he could talk, he could joke, he could talk sports, and he lived by himself. Wife and kids, no wife and kids. They son living in another state, but the conversations we had probably were like the highlight of his day because he could be like normal. He didn't have to be like a boss.
Yeah.
And have to think about what he said.
That'd be tough.
Oh man,
to know that you have to let go of like your fellow employees. It's your job to fire people. Yeah, that'd be rough.
And that was his thought process with it. And he was like, I did it for a while when I was early in my career, and I would feel so bad when I had to let people go, and it was a lot of times it was the right decision. I had to let people go, but I was thinking about their wife, I was thinking about their kids, and like what are they gonna do? And he was like, I just had to take that piece out, which it made him a little less human.
Yeah, a little
sense.
callous.
Yeah, because he had to shut down that piece in work, and like sometimes work, you make relationships like you want to be able to build, but it's hard when you're like the boss.
Well, you're there for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your day. That's like most people's day is 8 hours. Like that's your whole work. Then you can't have anybody there that's your friends. It's why, again, I think so much of the American job life for the normal person is really a trap. I mean, to me, everything I do is so incredibly intimate. I don't have a distinction between work and personal life. The people in my personal life are who I work with. Work with him, work with Jake, everybody around me. I mean, this is, first off, we're family, so that's right off the bat. But the people that I train, I actually form real relationships with, and they invite me to Halloween and go to their kids' parties. It's like I would never, that would be so incredibly difficult for me to live day to day in an environment where I'm like, I can't bond with anybody here.
And it forces you to be that way when you're in corporate America. You almost have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the agenda is less about relationships; it's more about money.
Yeah.
So it's not really. We're not really here to make relationships. They're like, we need you to make money. Like that's the end game. Like,
speaking of that, in addition to personal one-on-one training, which you said you've done for how many years now?
I think it's like coming up on like 10 years, which is crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, we're like around the same timeline. What else are you doing? I mean, are you involved with supplements? Are you involved like what else are you doing?
Like, people think I'm crazy. I don't work with any like supplement brands because I'm like, food, man. I eat real food. It's gonna be hard for me to preach to you, hey, eat this, but also take this protein shake. It's like I'd rather preach like the actual long-term supplement, because you may start buying supplements short-term, then you stop, and now you're no longer getting that protein you're getting. And I'd rather just push you towards food, because I know you're going to eat food.
And food's always going to be there.
Yeah,
food's always going to be there. Just go get it.
And it's never going to cost you anything more. It's just going to make you buy the right things. If I start asking you to buy this or buy that for protein-wise, you're going to buy it for a little while, but after a while, you're like, this is costing me money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather push the more long-term thing towards people. So I don't do it for myself either. Like, I don't work with brands. I work with one shoe brand, which I was using before I started working with them.
Which one is it? It's the
Vivo.
Vivo. I knew it. I think it's Vivo.
Yeah.
You ever done anything with Shama? I know.
No.
Yeah, Shama sandals. Nsima.
Oh yeah. So he has.
I'll send Mark. We do them with Shama.
So I live in Boston. Like I can't be in sandals.
Because it's cold. It's,
like, I can't be in sandals ever. Like I mean, if I were around the house, yeah, but like I couldn't really leave the house. It's cold.
It's
like,
cold.
I can't.
I no argument. You're right. It is cold.
So I really outside of that, like I do online programming. I have an app. I also have PDF programs I do for people.
Nice.
So that's like majority of like my online business. Started my YouTube channel, been pushing that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How's that going? You're I don't think I saw your YouTube.
It's good. Like, I mean, I just started pushing
it. That looks great, man.
Like
who does your editing?
Dude, I get like thumbnails from like Taiwan or something like that. Like I just started doing it. Like, and it was just me just putting out my own stuff.
This is just you doing your own thing, making your own. That's incredible. Yeah. That's really good, bro. I couldn't do that by myself.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work. So I'm doing this for my YouTube. I'm doing it for my Instagram. I'm doing it with TikTok. I'm on Reddit.
What's TikTok? I haven't seen it. I didn't see your TikTok.
TikTok is fine. I mean, I do that. I probably have almost like 300K.
It's awesome.
It's like 2 something. I don't know.
But it's incredible how that platform rewards.
It grows, but I don't put enough into it, just because I'm stretching myself thin. I don't put enough into it.
Well, then eventually, I mean, if you keep going along this direction, you're probably going to have to get somebody on board.
I just recently hired someone, but the problem is, it's like I'm so particular, and the reason why my brain works is because it's me. Like, there's the creative piece of it being me and my opinion and so it's like you gotta allow this person to be around you and learn how you operate and learn, instead of like trying to tell them do this and this. I want you to be able to see me do it before I allow you to do anything. So it's like I hired somebody, but they can't do much until I release them to do something when I'm comfortable, which be like months on end.
Easily. Yeah, it took I mean, our situation is so unique and just so blessed to be in it. I mean, he came on board when I first started this. I was probably about 3 years old, but it took us, I would say, at least 1 year to truly find our stride because everything we do is sort of a meeting of the minds. I mean, when he comes to me with ideas, I usually just say, I mean, yeah, that's great, let's go. But sometimes there's like either pushback or a difference. It just either way though. It took us time to really find a flow and really find like, all right, this is the amount of stuff we'll do for equipment collaboration. This is what we'll do for movements. This is what we'll do for podcasts. And it really just, it took time. So even someone good, and I mean, being that we're family, there was a certain level of patience that just had, and I don't understand how people could honestly do it outside of someone they know prior to doing and trust.
And that's why I've been just me for so long.
Because it's hard.
It's hard. And it's like, I don't trust nobody more than I trust myself.
Yeah.
And it's like I never wanted to give people I don't ever want to be put in a position where I'm getting mad at someone for doing something wrong. And I always thought that was my own issue. It's like I should have never gave you that kind of power to be put in a position where you could screw something up for me. Like that's only my power.
But the pushback to that, I mean, I'll say this. Because you and I are wired very similarly. I mean, for me, if I want something, it's like the old adage: if I want something done right, I'll do it myself. Because rather than explain it to somebody, I'd rather just do it.
Yeah.
That you talk about mental burnout.
Yeah.
That's mental burnout. That's mental burnout in a little fancy little package. And for guys like us, who if you're the CEO, if you're the guy running it, you're gonna hit the mental burnout before anybody else. Yeah. If you bring on partners or employees or anything like that, they're going to see that mental burnout after you do. In fact, they're probably going to feel it because you put it on them.
And I'm learning that, and I know it, but it still doesn't allow me to like just release yet. Like I'm like, all right, I get that.
You're getting there though.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it.
You will, or you will hit stagnation. Everyone does.
Exactly.
There's only so many hours in a day, and you only got 2 hands.
Yep.
There's only so much you can do, and especially for you, for what you want to do, if you can get yourself with somebody that can take on a percentage of the work and take on maybe just the content editing or something like that, you can focus more on what you're good at, which is, I mean, for me, I don't ever want to stop being a one-on-one coach. I love that. I get that question every once in a while, like, oh, okay, well, are you going to start traveling and start doing this influencer? I'm like, no, I love coaching. That's what I like. I always want to do it. But in order to get to that point where I can be successful and have passive income and all that other stuff that comes with this business, I need to have other people. I can't just do it myself.
And I'm learning that, and that's for a while. And that's why I would never. Like I just recently started getting into traveling thing. I would do like the long weekends because the best type of trainer is available trainer. Like I had no time to go nowhere. Like, if I get off track, my clients get off track, and I try to come wheel them back in. Like no, I just rather not get off track. Like just stay connected. Don't allow them to miss days because I'm not missing days. Yeah. And then we don't have the breakthrough of where we're trying to go. And for a while, but you still reach burnout that way. Cause it's like, it's eventually it's going to happen. So you just got to find ways to kind of just like balance it. And that's why I've been getting into a little bit more travel now. Like I've done a few more podcasts and connect with people that'll help me to grow my online a little more. But also I'm still doing the in-person training because I love it. That's where all my inspiration comes from. Like working for people one-on-one, seeing where they're limited and kind of helping them. And that's where my content gets created from. But I do all my own upload. I do all my own creation of my own content, training people, training myself. And it's a lot.
What do you see as the discrepancy between an online coach or an in-person coach? I mean, meaning this. I mean, we are both selling both. You and I are both in-person and online coaches. And you and I know you and I are doing it very, very, very well. So if someone was to go with an online coach, it does make sense to choose one of us. But at the same time, there's no denying that there's a big difference between an online client and an in-person client.
For sure. That in-person, like one-on-one feel and that touch to it is different. Like you really get to experience things in real time. Online, you don't really get to do that. Like, and there's, mind you, I've helped thousands of people online. Like, I've thousands of reviews of different programs I have for people, and it was able to help them. But it's always that chance that it may not, because it's that I'm not able to cue them on this or that the way I am if we were in person, or explain to them, like, slow it down a little bit. Yeah. Like, but there's ways, like, you can start adding audio to stuff, but it's still a different
It's never going to be the same.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
No. That was the corrective thought process that we went through in the beginning, because there was a time when, I mean, the argument has been presented to me, especially during COVID. The argument was presented to me that, in-person training is going to be surpassed by online coaching. Like, online coaching is the thing of the future. That's the way everything's going. And in some areas, I mean, you look at what everybody can do now. I mean, Amazon Eats, everything seems to be fast-tracked and expedited online. It seems like a lot of services are going the way of just, hey, I want it now, I want it this way, and I can just get it online. What do I need an actual person for? But this thing we're doing, this particular industry and this particular occupation in this industry as a personal one-on-one coach seems like it's kind of even almost like AI proof. It seems like it's very, very hard to fake where we're at now, and eventually maybe AI gets to the point where an actual robot could really get you incredibly good results in person. But there's that interpersonal, like you said, there's the cues, there's the change-ups, there's the everything happens in a moment's notice that you just cannot replicate in any other way. Would you agree with that?
For sure. And it's just like the real feel to it. Even when I like create programs for people online, them knowing like I've actually done this is different for them. Like the same thing I had someone talk to me about AI recently. I said, yeah, I think it'll be a thing, but I just took myself, for example, like when I go to the supermarket, I see the self-checkout. I haven't used self-checkout since it's been introduced.
Interesting. Okay. I totally have.
Because for me, it's like, all right, I'm going to the store. I want to be able to have someone ring something up for me because the self-checkout confusing. It's like, it's too much going on.
Half the time the guy's got to come over and do it for you anyway.
I'll stand in line. Exactly. I'll stand in line and deal with this. And most people, you see it. Some people use it. Some people use it in the convenience, but there's a lot of people that don't use it. So it's there, and the people that are into it use it, but the people that want to be connected to a person, they're not going to use it.
Well, that's half the reason. I mean, for me personally, because of everything being literally in-house here, I mean, when I go out, if I go anywhere to do anything, it's like, dude, I want to go to a coffee shop. I want to actually talk to a person. Exactly. I want to go out and get something totally non-business related that's an interaction with a person in public.
And think about how much you miss out on when you don't. So I think about it from a perspective of when I do go out and get coffee and I'm having like a bad day and the person smiles at me and tell me, "Oh, have a good." It changes. Like you get like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or you able to say to them something that you can't say to a machine and get like a comment back from.
Like the power of the barista.
It's more to it than just like the transaction.
Do you think, this just came to me. Now, well, I think we both would agree that AI, at least nowhere in the near future, will ever be able to replace real human interaction at a training level. But do you think AI could replace the online coach? And I'm specifically talking about like because we all know them, they're out there, the cookie cutter, turn and burn online coach that sells programs where you never actually even, maybe they text you, but you don't actually get, people want a celebrity coach. They go to their website, they buy their program. Now they're trained by so-and-so.
I think about that one is I would say maybe because right now you can Google any type of program you want.
Have you seen how detailed some of that gets?
Yeah,
you AI and you go to, what is it? Chat GPT is the one that we use. Yeah. And you ask them to give me a 6-week periodized strength program for a high school soccer athlete age 15 male. It will go.
But even before that, you could Google training programs. And they're out there. They're free.
Yeah.
But still, people purchase from someone that sells them because it's the experience they want. Like, it's just the connection to this person that this person have shown me the way of doing something. That's why I always got like curious when people start online coaching and day one, they be selling programs. It's like, what? Wait, how?
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
I don't know anything about you, what you're about, what you represent. And you think I'm going to buy something? So you already, day one, you gave me the wrong impression. So I'm probably not even going to pay attention to what you say. But if you take the other route, which, I mean, I never really got into this to be like an online coach to sell something or do anything. It's just the kind of way it happened. Like I hate the term influencer.
And it happened for you much later, right? Being an online coach was not your first coach, not at all.
No. And even when I got into it, it wasn't my intent because I still worked full time. But when it happens that way, it gets to happen. You get to see like the true, genuine feel behind it when it comes to like helping people. Like I gave out so much that people wanted something a little deeper than what I was giving. I didn't start putting out programs. I was almost like 50K, 70K followers. I didn't even have a website.
Yeah.
Because my business wasn't that. Like this stuff was to help people online. Yeah. And it wasn't until people started asking me for stuff like, what do you have that I can buy?
Yeah, like, hey, can I actually have a real program, please? Like, well, I don't sell, but even better.
Yeah.
That's even better now that I know you don't sell them. Now I want it more.
Exactly. And even once I had them, I don't over promote it. I probably should promote my stuff more because some people don't even know I have it. But it's just like
Right.
I've never been that like in your face like salesperson. Like if somebody wants help, they'll seek it out, they'll find it, or they may see me talk about something in a way that may relate to them, and they were like, "Yeah, this may help me." But I ain't want to ever be like, "Buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this," because most of the time when that's the case, I've always said this bullshit. Like it's most of the time it's bullshit.
Because most of the time you're right.
Exactly. So I don't think it will happen in that way because there's a lot of genuine people out there that are looking for something real. Mm-hmm. And most of the time when you get something from Google, it doesn't really resonate.
And you want interpersonal connection, whether or not that happens from the barista or whether or not that happens from your online coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a lot of the reason why some of these guys do have such success with online coaching is that they've established themselves as real coaches training real people, which even further demonstrates your point. Don't start off with and that is one of the biggest things we talk about with coaches is when we go and it's like, I tell them, I'm like, look, we are right now, finally creating a systematic, tiered online coaching program to sell. We've been here 9.5 years putting out this content, educating our community, giving out all this stuff for free, never selling anything. Never. We didn't even make money for the first 5 years. In that time, you build, while it may not be money, you build up trust and you build up a rapport from your community, which then hopefully will grow and grow and grow to where if someone says, hey, I got a strength program, it's Strict Vision Athletics. Someone else will be like, oh, wow, I've seen his stuff. It's a crazy play. How is that?
Yeah.
Rather than somebody who's like, oh, yeah, I started off as an online, I sell online programming. Oh, okay. Well, do you have anything to show me?
It becomes free marketing, and I think I laugh at it all the time. Like I'll see people in my comments on like YouTube because I don't reply a lot, but you'll have people telling people about your work in the comments. It's like you don't even have to market yourself anymore. If like your work is good and people have experience, and that's like what I really love about what I do and how I do it. It doesn't just give you the effects of like a workout. It forces you to like reevaluate life.
Wow.
So when you see some of the reviews people leave, like hundreds of reviews on my account, they talk about how it helped them change the way they approach everything.
Wow.
And that's way more than what you're looking for when you buy a training program. You're just looking for a good workout. But you found something that made you reevaluate how you live your life until a point of you started changing things for the better. And it's like because of the way I present my training and the way it affects people, like it challenges the shit out of you, but in a good way till you like the results, you like the effects of it. Now you want to be able to do this effectively. So you start to manipulate your diet in ways where you can be healthier and be able to perform at that level constantly, because now you're watching me do it and I do it a lot. It's like, how is he able to perform at that level so often? Like, what is he doing that's different? He's eating this way, he's sleeping this much, he's doing all this stuff, and it's working for him. So let me try a little bit of it and see how it works for me.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit. Now I got some results just by changing a few things. How would it help if I changed everything?
Yeah.
And they start working and moving things around their life. And it's amazing to see because they send me these like long reviews. And I'm like, when I started out to put this stuff out, I never thought it could be like what it is. It's more so like, how can I help people to just continue to be active? And you don't ever stop giving out free stuff. Like you see people, once they start selling stuff, the free stuff stops. It's the biggest mistake you can ever make, because I'll always have helped more people than always have like purchased something from me.
Oh yeah.
Like I was 400K followers, 400,000 followers. It's like, what percentage of that people actually buy?
You don't have 400,000 sales.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm always going to be helping way more people than are returning it by, but that's the whole point of it. Because what are you doing it for? You're doing it for the compensation of that, or you're doing it to actually help people?
Yeah.
Because you're doing it to actually help people, you'll always be taken care of.
Yeah.
But if your intention is to sell, you won't, and you'll struggle, and it'll show because you'll seem desperate to sell.
Right. Oh yeah.
And you see it.
Yeah. And they see it. And it's, if you want to get into an industry and you want to be successful in it, find one that actually helps people. That spans way beyond just what we're talking about with fitness. But I think there's something unique to fitness and the correlation to an actual human interactive experience that gets improved.
Oh, big time.
People, it's just, it's so rewarding to hear the stories and what people say they get from it and everything. So that's, and like you said, if you're not focused on the money, you're focused on that, you're going to be happy whether or not you make 400,000 sales or not. It doesn't really matter. The money's sort of just a byproduct of what you're doing.
You'll always be taken care of, I promise. If you're doing the right thing, continue to help people. There's no, I mean, yeah, maybe somewhere, but in the universe you see, like I'm God-fearing man, so I believe God. You take care of people and his people, he take care of you. But the same people that say the terms of the universe takes care of you if you're taking care of its people.
Well
so if you're
said.
constantly helping people, constantly doing good, you're not going to be without the things that you
It's
need.
going to come back.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the world needs you to continue to do that. And for you to continue to do that, you need to be taken care of as well. So the world's going to take care of you by having people help you and purchase things from you and help you in a way where you can keep providing the help for more people.
I love that. Where would people go if they wanted to get more information on your page, if they wanted to do training with you? Where would they look?
My Instagram, I mean, it's me answering everything. My website, Kettlebell Functional Training. All my YouTube stuff, all of that stuff, I'm there.
Perfect. Ways to train. Let's see. Kettlebellfunctionaltraining.com. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. That was a lot of fun.
Sure, man.
That was a great talk.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching that episode of Becoming the 1% podcast. If you like the content and you want to see more of it, hit the like and subscribe. Activate that notification bell as well. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to see more of it, we actually have the Becoming the 1% Instagram, and the podcast is available on Spotify. For our socials, we have Strict Vision Athletics on Instagram, we have it on YouTube, and we have it on TikTok.